You've created your publication page, putting in a lot of effort in the content, the design, the layout, bringing in stories, a lot more. But what if it were to crash? Would you start from scratch? Well, just so that you don't have to, we're going to learn how to create a backup of your WordPress website. Let's begin. So let's quickly go to our WordPress website. Now, first let's just talk about what a WordPress backup really does. It copies the current state of our website and stores it on our server. Where it helps is if we were to have, say, an issue with a theme or an issue while updating WordPress, anything that could cause our WordPress to not function as intended, you can always go back and restore a backup. That ensures that the website does not face a lot of downtime. You can get started with it. You can fix something that is broken in the newer version, or for example, if it's a plugin that has caused it, you can also revert back and not use the plugin. So today let's learn how to take a backup and what are the best practices for backups. So on WordPress, on the panel, we would want you to scroll down and go to Jetpack. I believe Jetpack would be available on all instances of WordPress. You click on Jetpack and then to the right and go to backup. Now usually by default backup is enabled, which means that whenever there's a change that is being introduced to the system, it will mark it as a restore point and back it up. For example, I have installed Yoast SEO for one of our previous videos on generating a sitemap. In case you haven't checked it, I would recommend you to check it out. So when I was installing that plugin, it's created that as a restore point. So in case this plugin were to cause an issue with my instance of WordPress and cause my website to not function correctly, I can always restore it to the point before it. There are multiple points all throughout that you can select. There are more backups from today, multiple backups. You can also select it for previous day. Now currently my website is being backed up every morning, so that way I have all the content that's on the website being backed up on a daily basis. Now if you are a news publisher who's pushing out lots of content every day, I would recommend you to have a more aggressive backup schedule. So for example, mine backs up every day at about 4 a.m. So if I were to push out new content today and my website crashes at say 9 p.m., all the updates that went out from today morning till 9 p.m. will be lost. It won't appear in the backup that was generated early morning. So as a publisher, I would highly urge you to back up every hour or every 30 minutes if you can. It will of course take up some bandwidth on your server. You can choose a different server, and it's a good practice to have a different server to store your backup. If you are just starting off and you don't have access to a server, you don't wish to do it, you can also do it manually. Say for example, a manual backup can also be taken. So if your website is not constantly updated, you can take a manual backup say once a month. If it's frequently updated, you can take it once a week. But it's a good idea to have a backup in more than one place, because at the end of the day you're safeguarding all possible eventualities. So say for example, if this is the backup of from 2 days ago, if I were to create like a manual backup of it, I can click on actions and select download backup. By doing that, here is what it will do. It will back up my WordPress theme, my WordPress plugins, WordPress root, which includes my config.php file and any other non-WordPress files, the content directory, which excludes your themes and uploads and stuff, the site database, it includes all the pages, all the blog posts, all the widgets, everything, and media uploads. So say for example, new stories that you upload, everything goes up. I can create a downloadable zip file, and once it's done, I'll get a mail for it, or since my website does not have a lot of content, it will be done slightly faster. But this time might vary for you. So currently my download size is about 61 MB. Depending on the size and the scale of your WordPress website, this will vary. So it's a good practice to have it backed up. If you don't want to use WordPress, the Jetpack option that's available, you can also use a plugin to back up your WordPress website. The plugin that I would recommend is Updraft Plus. So you can go to your plugins, look for Updraft Plus. It's also rated well, so can click on it, go ahead, install it. So this plugin offers you a little more options, and I'm just going to quickly dive into it as well to show you how it is. You click manage plugin. So this allows you to have backups to be taken. You can back it up now. You can also exclude certain things that you don't want. You can also take something called as an incremental backup, which means that it's not going to take all the files again and again. Any changes, say for example, I'll go back to the example I gave. Once my 4 AM backup is done, from morning 5 AM right up to 9 PM before the supposed website crash, all these files are added as an incremental update. So what it does is it ensures that you don't have multiple backup files. You have one backup file that is absolutely up to date, instead of you having to go through multiple files and look for the one that's latest. This will help you with that. You also have the option to only allow backups to be deleted manually. Otherwise you can automate it. What it can do is whenever a new backup is taken, the older backup is automatically deleted. By doing this, there is a benefit that your bandwidth isn't utilized too much. So if you have limited server space, you can just delete older backups. Alternatively, if that is not a concern, you can have older backups lined up as well, so that you can skip to a backup that's slightly older and just carry on from there. There's also an option to get remote storage. So like I was saying, backing up to a different server. If you don't have a server as of now, Updraft Plus also offers the option to take a remote server. Now this is again a premium offering, so you will have to pay extra for it. So you will get about like 1 GB of storage space on the vault for about $95. This price may probably fluctuate depending on your region or the plan you would want to opt for, but a remote backup is also an option. Since Jetpack is slightly limited, you can go ahead and do it with Updraft Plus. I'm going to back it up now and save my backup. So I hope you've learned how to back up your WordPress website, and if you haven't done it, I would recommend you to start right now. Thank you.